So I know that I've spent a lot of time touting all the amazing things about Coeur d'Alene and North Idaho, but to be fair, we're gonna break down the cons of living in North Idaho, some of the things that kind of drive us crazy, but also things that maybe you should know about before you move here. So stay tuned right now. Welcome back. Lindsay Allen here, and this is...
Hi, Sammy Randazzo.
And we're your favorite local North Idaho real estate agents. Now, before we get into this, I want to remind you guys, if you are enjoying this content, go ahead and like this video and subscribe. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns that you would like us to personally respond to, you can email us, text us, give us a call. We're happy to share what we know and point you in the right direction. We have people who are calling us, especially relocation, people who are looking to move here to North Idaho. We have people calling us every day, so don't hesitate to reach out. We'll be happy to help you guys out. So let's go ahead and break down the cons of living here in North Idaho. These are the things, in no particular order, by the way, these are the things that maybe drive us crazy, but also things that people should know about North Idaho, because there's all these lists and stuff with how great North Idaho is and how great Coeur d'Alene is, but no one's really telling the truth about some of the things. Of course, there's things that people don't like about living in the spaces that they live in, or the cities or the communities that they live in. No, nothing's perfect.
Right.
So we're gonna kind of break down some of the stuff that is less than favorable in certain people's eyes about North Idaho. So we were just talking about this. I think first and foremost, the weather.
Yeah. If you don't like snow, or you're cold,
or schizophrenic springs.
Yeah. It snowed 5 inches
on Friday,
and then it was like sunny and 50
a
in
few
the afternoon.
Hours later.
So we get everything in the same day.
Yes, spring.
Super spring is what we call it.
Yes,
like or 4th, 5th winter.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Fool spring.
Fool spring.
Yes. So winter starts, early December, late November, and we have a good 5-month stretch of pretty cold weather.
It's cold, and the sun doesn't come and say hello to us very often either. It's a little sad and dreary.
Sometimes, yes. So weather is something that I think people aren't prepared for, because they come and visit a lot in the summer and they're like, oh my gosh, it's amazing.
Because it is. It's gorgeous in the summer.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But the problem is, when you're living here year round, now you've got to learn how to live with the weather. And so you need multiple types of coats, from like light rain jackets to heavy winter coats. You need shoes, boots, all sorts of traction.
Yeah.
Yes. And you've got to be prepared, between the months of March and the end of May, that, the weather could change frequently throughout the day. So you've got to leave the house.
Like, I put all my sweaters away this year on accident. I made the mistake, and I'm a local. I should know.
You jinxed us.
I needed those sweaters. It was cold.
It seemed like, mid-April.
It's my fault.
I'm
so sorry.
To put everything away.
I jinxed everybody.
But it's not. You've got to leave that stuff out until like the end of May, like Memorial Day at least.
Cold.
Yes.
It snowed on Memorial Day in the years past. It's happened before.
Yes. So be prepared. The weather sometimes is not the best, especially in the springtime. So next up on our list is, this is for some people, especially if you come from larger areas, there's no professional sports.
None. Not one.
We do, and that's throughout the state. You're 4 or 5 hours from Seattle, 8+ hours from Portland, 18 hours from Denver, 18+ hours from any big city in California. So when we have people that are moving here from larger areas, I think that's one thing they take for granted in these bigger cities is, hey,
catch a sports game.
Yes, a Mariners game, or a hockey game, or a football game, a Seahawks game, or a Broncos game, and you move here, and there's no professional sports. Now, obviously, that's not a big deal to everyone, but if you're a sports lover and you love live sporting events, the best you're gonna get here in North Idaho is like a Gonzaga basketball game, which those are hard to get into because they sell out.
Right.
A Chiefs game.
Yeah.
Hockey, or a Spokane Indians game, and the Chiefs and the Indians are both semi-professional, like farm teams. So
they like seed into
the bigger programs.
Teams. Yeah, and they're fun.
Yes,
but it's just not.
It's not the if you come from a big city and you love live sporting events, you're not going to get that here. So just beware. No professional sporting teams or events typically here. So. Next up on the list, and I think we all can agree with this, we are growing, but probably too fast.
Yeah, I feel like the infrastructure, just the way the town is built in general, is having a really hard time keeping up with the influx of people moving here. Like we always joke, like the traffic in Coeur d'Alene is obviously not real city traffic, right?
Yeah.
But for us, on our little 2-lane streets, it takes you now 35 minutes to get from downtown or midtown into like Hayden, which in the past should take about 10, right? If it's
maybe 15.
Yeah. So it's just a lifestyle change almost. Like you have to plan ahead, right? Like it's not going to take you 10, 15 minutes to get somewhere. Now you have to give yourself a good chunk of
30 to 40
time.
minutes.
To get anywhere really anymore. And the traffic, the roads just can't really keep up with what we're growing into.
Yeah. And that congestion, by the way, I read this stat from a Idaho Department of Labor study that came out last week. 7,000 people moved to Coeur d'Alene in the year of 2021.
Oh, I believe it.
7,000 people. And we can feel that in the streets, in the schools.
Right.
Trying to get a reservation at a restaurant, one of your favorite restaurants.
Like a Tuesday, Monday, Tuesdays, like you can't get in anywhere.
Yes. And we used to have these shoulder seasons where, in the winter time and the springtime before summer activity, and then everything would kind of slow down again in the fall. It does not feel like in many areas of our community that we have a shoulder season anymore. There's no downtime.
No.
There's no time where the locals get the town back and the traffic is down and you can get back into your favorite restaurants or bars and not feel like you're
shoulder to shoulder.
Yes. Yeah. So we're growing, and I think in all people's opinions, especially if you've lived here for a while, it's probably too fast. Too much.
It's a little aggressive.
In too short of a time.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're hopefully figuring it out.
We'll figure it
We'll
out.
see, I guess, or we won't.
Be patient. Be patient.
So be nice to people,
yes,
I guess.
Be patient.
Everyone's short-staffed because there's too many people.
Yes, exactly. So another thing that, beware of, for some people, this is great. For other people, this could be a concern or bothersome, is that if you don't like guns, don't move to Idaho. And we say that because the Second Amendment, open carry, hunting are huge factors in people's lives up here. Idaho is very protective of the right to own guns, the right to carry guns, kind of wherever. So if that's something that scares you or that you're worried about, or that you've had a bad experience with, just know that you could walk in the grocery store or the movie theater and someone has the right to open carry. And also, I think driving around town, you see lots of people with like racks in their trucks and stuff like that. But I would say too, it's not necessarily, yes, a right to protect yourself, but I think it's just like tradition, and like hunting is a huge part of the fabric of the culture up here.
Recreation.
Yes, recreational shooting and stuff like that. But a lot of people carry guns to kind of, sustain their lifestyle, hunting, shooting, stuff like that. Not necessarily a protection against crime.
Right.
We don't have a ton of crime here, especially violent crime. So Of course, obviously people carry to protect themselves, but it's not that everyone's carrying because it's a dangerous place to live.
Right.
It's just more people living off the land and hunting and enjoying guns and being being a proponent of the Second Amendment. So, again, if you don't like guns, then don't move to Idaho. Okay, another one on the list is shopping sucks.
Oh my gosh, it's the worst.
I'm sorry to break it to you, but shopping in North Idaho, kind of Idaho
It's
in
like
general.
Non-existent.
Yeah,
almost.
It's kind of meh.
We have Target.
Yeah, Target. Macy's, which is,
Which is like slowly closing down.
Yeah,
though.
I'm
pretty
surprised
sure
it's
it's like
still
barely
open.
open.
TJ Maxx. We've got a couple of really cute boutiques.
Yeah, we do. The boutiques that we have, like downtown Riverstone area, they are very cute. So I don't want to like knock on those business owners because they do a really good job of like bringing in more up-to-date styles and stuff like that. And that's primarily, I don't really basically shop anywhere else except for those little boutiques or online. But other than that, we don't really have a mall. We don't have.
There's not a lot of shopping options. Furniture-wise, we've got a handful of places here that kind of have run-of-the-mill stuff. You kind of have to go over to Spokane a little bit. Now, that is something to say. We're 30 minutes from Spokane, so, maybe we get this small-town vibe and a small-town feel, which is quality of life that's very appealing to people, but we sacrifice the shopping options. So
dining,
stuff like that. We'll kind of get into that here in a minute, but shopping kind of sucks up here.
Yeah.
So a lot of online stuff, especially if you're looking for name brands or luxury brands to any extent. You're going to have to go online. Or, drive to Portland and Seattle, where a lot of these retailers actually exist. If you want to touch something and buy it and take it home, you're going to have to drive, 4 to 8 hours to a big city to acquire that stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
We've got about Nordstrom's, and that's about it.
Yes.
As far as like high-end retail, essentially.
Yeah. And I don't want to knock Nordstrom's in Spokane, but even still, I feel like the selection's limited there.
We don't get what everyone else gets.
Yeah. We've got the rack,
it's just different,
I guess, and like I said, TJ Maxx and stuff like that in the valley. But
then you have to go north Spokane to even get to your just traditional Nordstrom's.
Yes.
And even, I think I agree with you. It's not like
it leaves
anything
something
to write home
be
about.
Desired. Yeah, exactly. So, definitely, like I said, shopping kind of sucks. I know, and I hear this. You adapt, yes, and you learn to shop a lot online. But I hear from a lot of people that move here. They're like, "Man, I wish you had this or that, or I miss this." So beware, again, if you're moving here or you're looking to relocate or, explore this area, you're going to sacrifice that if you come from somewhere where that's readily available.
Take your measurements.
Yes.
So you can order online.
Okay, so next one on the list is Idaho is a deeply red state. Now, for some people, this could be a concern. For some people, this is a pro. But I'm putting this on the list because it can be kind of, depending on where you come from. We have a lot of people who are relocating from larger areas, and so they're surprised when they get here to see how deeply red our state is. We're just an old school, agricultural, like blue collar, hardworking state. And the most, I guess, liberal area in Idaho is in the Boise area around the state capital. And that's not necessarily because the capital's there, it's just the largest population area in the state. And they attract a lot of people because it's kind of urban, who are looking for that lifestyle or who have those views. So North Idaho, if you are someone who, comes from some of these larger urban areas and you're looking for that kind of like-mindedness, you're not necessarily gonna 100% find that up in North Idaho. Not to say it doesn't exist, but you might be kind of shocked with some of the political and cultural things that happen in North Idaho. Not to sugarcoat things, this does exist. There are some, what I would say, kind of far-right politicians and views up here in North Idaho. and sometimes it's a little like, hello, we're in the 21st century, you know. So it can be kind of bothersome, I think, to younger folks or people who move here from larger cities. But a lot of retirees, a lot of people who've lived here in Idaho and are coming from other smaller areas, you know, eastern Montana, the Dakotas, they really appreciate that about our state. So kind of depending on what side of the aisle you sit on, that could be a pro, but it could also be a con. So just, you know, if you're from a blue state and you're a blue person, beware that is something that you'll see that's very different here in North Idaho. Okay, so kind of a little bit along some of these lines is the diversity factor in North Idaho. There is not a lot of diversity, whether it's skin color, religions, cultural diversity. And for me, I think one of the things that I wish we had more diversity with is like food and entertainment and all sorts of stuff. We have kind of a core, you know, a core set of options here for like dining and entertainment and activities. And I wish that, you know, you go to a big city sometimes, like, you know, Seattle or even to Boise to a certain extent, and there's, you know, lots of happenings and lots
shows
of options.
And pairing dinners, which are really fun. We try. You know, we dabble.
Yes.
But as like a self-proclaimed foodie, I'm like, come on.
Yes.
We need some more here.
Yes. And I think a lot of times you see those options and those activities and those things in larger areas when you travel because there is that cultural diversity.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Yeah. So if that's something that you're looking for, again, beware that is not the top talking point about North Idaho.
Right.
A little bit of a lack of diversity. Okay, so finally, I would say last thing kind of on the list, like again, in no particular order, the high-paying job situation in North Idaho especially is lacking.
Yeah.
I would say that's a big con. How many people do you know graduated from Lake City or Coeur d'Alene High School and then moved away?
I know a fair amount, but I think traditionally it's not as high.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes. But people are going to school in different areas. They're going to bigger cities, looking for higher paying jobs or more diversity in the job options. We have like healthcare and technology here, and obviously hospitality with the tourism industry here. But really well-paying, like high-skilled jobs, you know, it's kind of lacking here.
Right.
You know, and I feel like if there's one thing that we could do to make this area better, it would be to offer a larger breadth of better-paying jobs.
Right.
You know, like we can only have so many, you know, nurses. Or doctors and surgeons, but also, you know, tech companies, and you know, because those are very specialized areas of skill. And you know, like for example, we are having a housing boom here. We have a hard time getting enough people who are plumbers and electricians and who have these kind of other high-paying skilled jobs. So I know that a lot of people talk about, we wish that we had more diversity or better paying jobs or more a larger breadth of job opportunities here, so that people could come back and actually live here too. Because like we talked about, everything's growing so fast, affordability is being affected, and unless you have a well-paying job in this community, it can feel tough to live here.
Yeah, it's difficult to meet with the growth.
Yes. Yeah.
But no, you're right. You essentially do have to kind of leave to educate for the education portion, at least. You know, we have the community college, and then, you know, U of I is 3 hours about.
Yep.
Yeah, in Moscow. But other than that, you kind of have to go somewhere to expand your skill set, essentially.
Yes.
And then you can come back. A lot
And
of
then
people
you
come back. But
yes. But they kind of have to go out and find
Yeah.
that stuff, get that experience,
Right.
build those skills, and then come back. So
Yeah.
I think having more diverse jobs and better educational opportunities would obviously keep people here more so than having people go out and seek that stuff and come back. So can you think of anything else?
No.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, I think it's
Pretty
a good list.
pretty well-rounded list of the cons.
Yeah.
Like I said, these aren't necessarily like terrible things, but they're, you know, differences of opinions or, you know, certain things that we have opinions about, you know, like we said, the weather
Yeah.
or the food, stuff like that.
I'm like, I want more restaurants.
Yes, and I want better weather.
I know. I would
But-
like the sun just a little bit more.
Just a little bit more, but there are so many other amazing things about this community. Like I said, I tout all that stuff all the time.
Yeah.
It's good to just kind of present like kind of a non-sugar coated, real view of life here in North Idaho. So
Yeah.
do you have any opinions about the cons of North Idaho? Have you moved here and you've experienced something that you weren't aware of
Whoa.
or that you find maybe less than favorable? If you have, throw those down in the comments. We love to see what people's feedback is about our opinions and conversations. So throw that stuff down in the comments. We love to see it. Also, don't forget, we have videos coming out weekly. Subscribe to stay up to date with those. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and stay tuned so that we can impart our wisdom and our opinions about living here and working and relocating to North Idaho. We appreciate you joining us as always, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.